Hello, my dear learners, and I am back with another math tutorial video. And in today, we're gonna prove the cosine rule. Just for fun, I guess. You might be thinking that I'm insane, but that video is actually a way for me to help you further understand how the methodology of it works. But anyway, let's just go on ahead and dive into it. So let's say that we want to find the side length of C. So the formula for that is going to look something like this. But how do we construct that actually? Using cosines? Since we are actually using the cosine rule, we want to use cosines in order to construct this formula. But what is the first thing that we're going to do? Well, we are actually going to use the Pythagorean theorem. But you might be asking, where do I start? Well, the best place to start is this one, because that is the fundamental blueprint for this formula right here. So it's going to look something a little bit like this. And now, what we want to do next is to expand this squared binomial here. And that's gonna turn into a beautiful polynomial that looks like this. It is also something that you've probably seen in high school all the time. And the next thing we want to do is to turn all these variables into these. So the next step is to turn all the variables in order to match this formula right here. But how do we do it? Well, the thing is, we are stuck in a problem where we have to deal with two variables at once. But here's the trick. We're gonna use the other triangle. Oh wait, let me get this off. We're gonna use the other triangle in order to perform substitution, because that is the only thing. Because that is the only way we can take in order to match this formula right here. So c squared equals. Now to sort that out, we're gonna do. Okay, so in order to sort that out, we're gonna sort out the variables right here. And again, we're gonna use this triangle right here. So, because we want to find out the cosine relative to whichever side length we are working on, we're gonna find the cosine of C, angle C. So that's gonna be x over a. That's gonna be a cosine of C equals x. And now we can sub this in right here. Oops. And the last thing we want to do is we're going to perform the Pythagorean theorem on this triangle right here. So a squared is going to equal x squared plus h squared. So here's a catch. Because if we have x squared plus a squared over here, we're going to swap this with a squared. And we're finally done that. And yep, we have already done the cosine law formula for C, but what if we tried A instead? Well, we're gonna do the exact thing, except we're gonna swap these two guys with each other. So this one's gonna be x, and this one's gonna be x minus b. But why do we do this? Well, we actually want to find A, because it is the opposite of C right here. So, and again, we're gonna do the same thing with A. And this is going to be x minus b squared plus a squared. Now expand this one, you already know what it looks like. Now to sort this out. Now to sort this out for the next step. Now the next thing we want to do is to do the other half the same way. We just work on the other half for C. So for C, that's gonna be C squared equals x squared plus a squared. And again, because we want to find the cosine. That is relative to the side length we are working with. We can actually put a formula that looks something like this. So that's cos of A equals x over C cos of A. And here you have this. X equals C cos of A. So what does it mean actually? Well, and again, we're gonna sub in X with this X with this one, and we're gonna sub with this X squared plus A squared with C squared. So our final product will look like this. And ta-da! We have finally proved the two equations. And now I would actually like you to try on your own. Now I would actually like you to try B on your own, but what I suggest you to do beforehand is to flip the angles around. So it's going to be A. So I suggest that your layout should look something like this. And that's all for the video, and that was really fun. Like, it's quite of a ride to go through something that might be a little complicated, but it's definitely worth a try because it will actually help you further understand how the cosine rule works and what it actually does. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone, and happy learning.